Yo guys, welcome back to another video, another Berserk review, of course, and this time we're focusing on the third and final chapter of Volume 1, and I apologize, this is a late night recording, so if I'm kind of like making no sense at times, I apologize in advance, so let's get into it. So, this is the right after the whole ordeal with the priest and his daughter basically dying and Guts, being tortured by the voices of the evil spirits and fighting the army of darkness. We come to another place where we see this guy, the Inquisition is, accusing people of being heretics. And of course, if you're accused of being a heretic, you're sentenced to execution. And so here they have this lady who's begging for her innocence, but of course that falls on deaf ears, and she's executed by being beheaded. And immediately this art, man, I wish like Kitamura would have stayed with this type of art style. I know the guy's a legend and everything, but this, I really favor this type of stuff where it's like there's like that shading to it, that really dark grayish scale, if you can say. I don't know what to call it, but I'm certain artists, you know what I'm talking about. So after the execution, this guy, I don't remember what he is, but he's kind of like the right hand man. So the right hand man's like, this is the 5th one this month. I'm wondering if we're not overdoing it a bit. And the Excellency, he's just drinking his wine, and he's like, I don't care, arrest anyone who looks like a spy or a drifter, as heretics basically. And he's like, I do this all for the good of my subjects. It is my sacred duty to protect my domain from any accursed heretics. And it's making me think now, because what I know later is about well, I don't know what I want to say that actually. So we'll get to that point when we get to it. But, of course, if I remember. So dude's like, yeah, all right, I understand, my lord. And the group of people who are watching, the spectators, Guts is there. He picks up the head of the woman, and he sees, there's she died with agony. I'm sorry, of course agony, but like you can see it on her face still. And one of the guards hits a kid because he's like, he calls it to his sister, who's already dead, of course. And the knight says, anyone caught sympathizing with a heretic will be punished, including children. So they're basically in this heretic hunt, witch hunt, if you want to call it. And people just don't want to be involved with it. They're just keeping their heads down. They're staying quiet. And the knight makes his way over to Guts. And he's like, man, hey, will you hand it over to me? And Guts just smirks and just spits on the guy. And this earns, shock from a lot of people around. And before things get violent, he throws the head of the woman to the Lord, and the Lord just catches it like it was nothing. He looks at it, and what do we see after the Guts basically just knocks this guy out with one punch with his metal arm? Oh, we see the brand of sacrifice. And he's like, this mark is... And he looks over at Guts. Guts stares down at him, puts his fingers on the brand that's bleeding. So we know he's an apostle. We know this Lord is an apostle. And just, symbolizes that, hey, I'm gonna cut your head off. I'm gonna kill you. Oh man, is this camera not working? Oh man, damn this camera at times. I'm sorry guys, I didn't realize that it was that blurry. So this catches the Lord's the apostle's attention, and Gus just walks off with a knowing smirk. Oh man, I kind of. All right, so the right hand man's like, why are you standing there after him? And the apostle says this: how amusing, a declaration of war, perhaps. And he finds it amusing, of course, and just squeezes the woman's head, and it's just the most grotesque way ever, and he's just laughing, and he's like, I'm ready. All right, let's start. We'll start the party. And off in the distance, and in the alleyway, we see this hooded figure, and he starts making his move while Gus is running, and he counters the knights, and they're saying, like, by decree of the Inquisition, you are hereby arrested. If you don't surrender, then you're basically surrendering your life to us. And of course, Gus ain't having that. And what does he do? What he does best: he cuts MFers in half. I mean, you can't just go against a main protagonist, man, unless you're like a really important character. And these guys are not important characters, So, I mean, it's anime and manga logic 101. And so the knights see this, and of course they're like, oh no. And they see this big ass sword stained with the blood of their comrades. Of course, here's another iconic quote right here. Oh, it's I'm sorry. It's repeating the same quote from chapter 1, where it's like, it was much too big to be called a sword, massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. Indeed, it was like a heap of raw iron. And these guys are like, what kind of sword is that? And one guy's like, don't just stand or charge. Of course, the idiots charge at him. And after just seeing what this guy can do, and he's, showing no mercy, he's cutting dudes in half, left and right, dwindling their numbers. And this guy, one of the guys is like, what an incredible sword. He's slicing our armor in half of it. He's inhuman. Then we got these two archers up on the balcony aiming at Guts. Here comes Puck in with the save, and uses like this this flare, I guess, where he just blinds the guys for a moment, and Guts goes in to cut the, I guess, the post, and they, the whole balcony comes down, basically killing those guys. And Puck says, hey, I saved your life. I did it, didn't I? And Gus says, you're still here? Puck's like, looks like you owe me one. Then the guy just comes from behind Puck, grabs him, and before Puck can meet his demise, Guts slices the guy's hands off, and then just the guy's just left out, like, bleeding out and just going crazy. And Puck's like, and Gus is like, now we're even. And Puck's like, hey, you're going too far. And then in comes this guy with this unique mask, and the guy, of course, says, that's quite a sword you got there, little man. Let's see how that sword of yours fares. And this guy has a war axe, and Guts is up for the challenge. Well, he has, there's no way around it. He has to fight this guy. And this big guy says, when I put it to the test against this hammer, when I put it to the, I'm sorry, I'm messing up. When I put it to the test against this Warhammer, Guts dodges one, the guy swings down, then the guy swings across and hits one of his other guys, and of course this goes through another dude as well, and he's just blindly just swinging at Guts, while Guts is, we can see that he has a method to his madness. Yes, even though he's causing all this destruction and mayhem, he knows what he's doing, unlike this guy who's just swinging wildly. And Gus is not fazed by it. And the big dude says, "Ha, what's wrong? There's nowhere left to run." Because Gus is back to a corner, well, back to a wall, basically. And guy continues on, "See, it's not just a question of size if you can't handle your weapon. It's nothing more than baggage." And Guts just goes in with his strike, expertly hitting the guy's warhammer just right as when it swings down, causing the blade of the warhammer to I don't know if it's called a blade, but it causes the blade to like just be bent out of shape and break, and the shards of the metal are so fling off so strong that it hit and knocks his helm off, and it even like goes right into his face, effectively blinding him with one eye as well. And Puck is like, whoa. Everyone is just astounded, and one guy's like, Captain. Well, all of these guys are saying like, Captain. Guts puts his boot on the guy's head, grinding on it, and it says, "Couldn't agree more." While the guy's just bleeding out and just with the freaking metal pieces in his face, man. Oh man, that looks like it hurts, man. Holy cow. Then he kicks the big guy off, and this is where we get the name Lord Zondark. So this is Zondark, the big guy is. Off in the not so distance, in like this sewer grate, I guess, we see the hooded figure again watching this whole fight go on. And Guts sees reinforcements coming, until there's like this smoke bomb that comes out of nowhere, and provides him a way to escape through the help of this hooded guy. And he's like, "Over here, quickly." And they're figuring out like, what's going on here. And then he's like, "What are you doing? Hurry up." So Guts just books it, and Zondark is like, "Kill him, kill him." Just in a bloody mess. So some time passes. We see Guts and this hooded guy walking through town. People are now around. They're shuttered in because of what's going on. And the guy elaborates further. It's like, you never know when you might be accused of heresy by whom. And they're not just afraid of strangers. They're not just afraid of strangers. Acquaintances, neighbors, friends, even family. In this town, people are a thing to be feared. And they're going down into this, I guess, a secret area where they go into this, I'm not sure what to call it, like a little research station or something. And you just see these jars and vials and these skeletons, just what you would see like when people are like doing research, like, but just medieval. And Puck says, "What is this place? He a butcher, or maybe an Eastern herbalist?" And he, he's backing up, and he knocks into a jar, which what's inside a jar is this female elf, and he's just like, oh, he wants to get out. Gus mentions like, it's a quiet collection. I suppose if somebody were to accuse you of being a heretic, you'd have a hard time explaining all this. And the guy's like, nothing of that sort. Just a has-been physician. That's all I am. Gus asks, who are you and why did you help me? And the guy says, I saw you at the execution grounds today. Do you have some sort of grudge against the Count? Is it revenge? And Gus kicks the guy's cane, causing him to fall. And Gus proceeds to say, I'm the one who's asking the questions, not you. And Puck's like, that's horrible. Why'd you have to kick him like that? He gets closer to the guy and asks him, hey, you okay? And then he just has this look of fear and just, gets back real quick as they see that the guy, he has an amputated leg. And he's getting up and we see his face. His face is horrible. It's horrendous. Just teeth. You could just no lips. You could see his teeth. I mean, it looked like the guy is horribly burned. And the guy says, I want you to cut him into little pieces. That demon. That accursed Count, he's not even human. He's a monster. Look at me. These legs. This face. That fiend cut them up piece by piece and ate them. You don't believe my story, do you? And Gus says, I believe you. No, rather I know what he is. The guy puts his hood back on and he's like, here, let me show you something. And he opens up the secret passageway, the secret door. And they go into the other section. And here we see something very important to the story. And I mean very important. Gus is shocked to see it. And he's like, this is a Bayolet. And that ends volume 1. So all I'm gonna say is that this thing is very important to the story. That's all I'm gonna say. We'll get there when we get there. If you guys know, you know. But the guys who don't, you will see, because there is some just to give you something, a little hint of it's bad juju. Let's just say that it's bad juju. Just when you see it, run. But that'll be it for today, guys. Sorry if the video got a little blurry at times. I figured I'd try to do something with the setup of the positioning and all that. Working with what I got. But I hope this was enjoyable, and see you next time.